Hello, welcome to the video on the farm. And yes, I know I've not posted in a while. Well, I already wasn't posting for a while, and then I started posting, and then I stopped posting for a while. That is because I went to Wisconsin for 2.5 weeks to go see some family for the summer, and it was my little vacation. But I know I haven't posted in a while, so figured I'd continue on the potato gun. And I have done a lot since the last video. I have those scraps of pipes that were laying here in the shed have now been built into something. I built a box, and I took that like 2.5-inch pipe and I turned it into a potato gun. And this thing weighs about, it's about 50-60 pounds by itself. This is going to be the air canister. And yes, I will explain how all this works in the future. And before you start saying, yes, I know I look like I got dressed in the dark. I was on a plane all day, so leave me alone. Anyways, but yeah, I have started building the gun, and just today I got the hubs in for the trailer. So we'll finally, hopefully, be able to put the wheels on. And finally have a almost functioning, like, trailer by itself, so I can finally start putting the coaxial mechanism on here. That's all laying over here. While I was gone, I had to kind of pack everything together. So, oh yeah, and tractor got moved in here. You might remember from like a year ago, I was rebuilding this, or not even rebuilding, but trying to get this old Massey Ferguson TO30 to run. And, well, I kind of gave up because the goats got at it and ate all the wiring and all the spark plug cables. As you can see, they're all gone. This is all that's left. As you can see, they went and ate them all to pieces. Lost some parts, found some parts. I went and finally got some tires for it. So that is going to be another future project, hopefully. Once I get a little bit more cash from work, I'm going to go buy some more parts for it and start working on that next. Anyways, back to the topic for this video. But yeah, this I'll go into detail in a bit about how this thing works. But yeah. Oh, and we are back. It is currently midnight right now, and it has been a couple week or two since I last did any real work on this. It was just a little bit, but tonight I finally decided to, sorry, I'm tired. It's kind of hard to make sentences, but this is what I'm doing tonight. So I finally got a tap and die set, or an MPT tap and die set for my part of my birthday present. We got the air release valve. This was already on here. And then we have a fill valve down here. This stuff was this is kind of why it's rusty. It's been sitting in the back of my truck for 3 weeks. And then, ooh, that's still a little hot. Just welded on the end cap. I was attempting to grind it, but then I realized I'm going to have to weld something on the bottom of this anyways. Because this part, oh, that is not strapped in either. I'm just going to leave that there. This part is going to be welded on top of this part, which is the main gun. It looks smaller on camera than it does in real life, but for reference, I'm about 6 feet tall, and this thing is longer than I am tall, so it's got some. It's a big piece of metal. Weighs about 50 or 60 pounds. I can still pick it up by hand, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to once I get the loading gate and the air canister, or the air pressure tank, welded on. But I probably already showed this in the last part of the video, but see if I can find it. This part, it's just a 1-inch elbow. MPT is going to get welded on the back of there, or this part won't be welded. It'll probably just be screwed on with some tape. And it's got this little bit here that is going to be welded onto the top here. Air tank's going to run along the top of this, and it's going to look like the hydraulic if you look at any picture of any artillery from World War II or even World War I and up, they have a hydraulic piston on the top so that when it recoils, it doesn't just blow the cannon off the carriage. And that's why every time you see one of them shoot, they go back like 3 or 4 feet. So it will imitate that, but in reality, it's going to be what actually propels the projectiles. And also, I welded the caps on the top, on the front, on the back, and these 2 little pieces of bar here I need to grind off because they were simply used to hold this pipe in the middle of this square tubing. And there's the breech, and there's a bunch of holes slits up along the sides. Kind of see here, there's one of the slits that's going to allow the air, when it rushes in, to go up into the holes inside of the shell, which will propel the projectile out the barrel. And on the back, I'm going to weld it's going to be just like a lever where like if I pull it out this way, it swings the gate back and will allow you to either put a shell in or eject the last one. You just simply swing it back and it shuts the gate, which that is also going to have to be very, very precise because if it's not, it's going to leak air and that's going to make me lose PSI. But yeah, that's the progress we've made. And I'm probably going to call this pretty soon here and see you guys tomorrow. All right, and we are back. So I've been doing a little bit of work since the other night. That was a couple days ago. I've been kind of busy with work, and my oxyacetylene torch ran out of acetylene, so that kind of set me back on this project. Had to go find a cap for it because person who sold me the torch did not give me either of the caps for the tanks, and apparently acetylene tank caps are not easy to come by or cheap, so I had to go salvage one, which that was a fun journey, but hopefully I can finally get those refilled and get back working on this project. But for now, I've just been working on the gun more. So since the last update, I finished this. This has just been sitting here for like a day or two now. But now I am working on the breech for the gun. So when I welded this, I welded 2 different pieces on here. They were cut right here and here. So I slid them together around the bore and I just welded them on there. They're strong welds. I've tested them, but they're not very pretty. So I had to go back and attempt to patch some spots where they were low. Like right there, I had to run an extra bead and then go and grind it down to the right level so that this whole thing should fit mostly flush on here when it slides. Because it doesn't have to be airtight, like airtight, because it's only going to be experiencing pressure for less than a millisecond once I release the air. And also the shell, speaking of which, this shell is definitely not pretty. This is just the prototype. It's a 20-inch, it's 20 inches and 5/8, I believe. But it's got, and yes, I don't know why, but my drill press, every time I'd press it in, it would, as soon as the side, here, I'll show you. As soon as like the side of the blade would catch it, as soon as like this, like the center part, it would be fine. But as soon as it caught this edge, it would either stop the drill completely and it wouldn't be able to move, and I'd have to shut off the drill, pull it out, and then go back in again, and then it would finally go through. Or it would completely tear it apart and crack the PVC, which I just went in with my lighter and I just warmed it up and I tried to melt it back together, which didn't work the best, as you can see. But YOLO, again, this is just a prototype shell for now. But anyways, I stopped about halfway through because I was afraid I was going to break this shell in half, and I didn't really want to do that. But yeah, that's the prototype shell. And also, I put a backer on this, which is literally the bottom half of the very bottom of a plastic water bottle. Here, this part. I cut it off right where it starts getting skinny, and I just forced it on there, and it was a little bit loose. So I took my lighter and I just ran it around the edges to melt it. This ain't going, no, it's real tight. And then I also put it on the back so that I could shrink that part in. And then I just got it hot and then tamped it down so it's flat. I left a little bit of obtrusion so that when the thing seals, it kind of pushes against that. But yeah, these have a backer on them now, which should, and also I add a little bit more material on the outside, so it should seal in the breech a little bit better. But essentially how this works is, once this is all rigged up, there's gonna be a lever that's gonna flick this to the side. I'm just gonna take that off for now, and then load my shell in with the holes. And there's currently no big barrel in there, so I'm not gonna let that go. That goes in there, and then you would simply flick that lever. This would shut again, and then once I'd pull that big orange lever, which would let the air out where the air chamber would be. It would force down into here and go in there around those cracks and force into the holes on there, and then it should force the projectile out the barrel. Pretty simple, but yeah, that's just a little update. I'm gonna keep working on this, so thank you for allergies. Thank you for watching another video of On the Farm. Hopefully once I get my torch back, I'm gonna be able to finish up this project finally, because I've been wanting to do this for about a year now, and so yeah, let's hope that I can get this thing finished and get a video out. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.